All of a sudden, Death Knight stands up, getting a lot of system pop-ups. These new pop-ups are actually skills that are continuously forming, and he is guessing that maybe Sungwoo expected it in advance. But in reality, Sungwoo had no idea that Death Knight will get so many skills after becoming a mage. Death Knight at once summons ice, earth, and wind elements. He then attacks Dr. Yu with those projectiles, but the shield of Dr. Yu is quite strong. Dr. Yu is impressed since these abilities were not in the report he made on the Necromancer. Sungwoo says that it's not just abilities, and at the same time the door starts getting attacked behind him. It turns out to be Jisoo-yun, who easily breaks through the door, and she says that she is sorry for being late to the party. Sungwoo says that he was already expecting her to be late, so it's okay. Dr. Yu orders his dolls to kill Jisoo-yun, as he is planning to use her as one of the dolls as well. Dolls shoot a lot of divine-powered arrows which easily shatter the undead minions. Sungwoo orders Jisoo-yun to take care of them, since she is the only one who will be less affected by them. Jisoo-yun gets in front of Sungwoo and she easily parries all arrows shot at Sungwoo. She even manages to protect the Death Knight from the barrage of these divine arrows. Death Knight says that the priest-type dolls are the main problem here since they erected this shield and nothing is getting past it. A mage-type doll attacks Sungwoo with a fireball, but Jisoo-yun is quite far, and she cannot protect Sungwoo from this one. Sungwoo quickly summons Troll Skeleton to block the fireball. There are not just priests but other classes as well among these dolls. At this rate, Sungwoo and his party are bound to get hit from all sides. They are quite far as well, so Sungwoo needs a stepping stone to reach the dolls. Sungwoo summons Imugi out of the abyss. Sungwoo uses Imugi as a stair to reach the mages above them, but one of the mages easily destroys Imugi with a single mana blast. Sungwoo jumped back in time, but he is thinking that he is getting dominated in both power and defense. And the dolls respond so precisely it's like he is moving the pieces of Korean chess. But Sungwoo is confused as to why Dr. Yu is fighting like this, and if Sungwoo was in his position, then he would have already gotten rid of his enemies by now. While blocking the divine arrows, Death Knight recommends depleting the mana of the mages and attack them once they are out. Jisoo-yun says that it is impossible, their mana keeps replenishing and they must be getting potions or something through those tubes. Dr. Yu orders his dolls to use arrows of divine blood. All dolls shower Sungwoo and his minions in a rain of divine arrows. Jisoo-yun is thinking that Dr. Yu is trying to eliminate the outer defenses of Sungwoo, so he can easily push Sungwoo to the edge. Head-on attacks are not working on Dr. Yu since he controls a lot of dolls by himself, and Sungwoo has no idea how many more dolls he has hidden away. But the dolls were already moving and they had those tentacles before Dr. Yu transformed, and maybe he is not just controlling them through his tentacles only. Maybe he is doing it through a mechanical device, which means there must be an engine which moves this whole thing. Sungwoo orders his specters to find it. Dr. Yu says that it is not as hard as he thought it would be, analyzing the enemy's actions with superior intelligence and responding in a most optimal way is a perfect strategy. He further says that he should have stepped forward instead of sending a clone right from the start. At the same time, Sungwoo found the engines through his specters. There are a total of 6 engine rooms around them, but the walls of these rooms are too thick and only openings are small exhaust ports. Both Righty and Sungwoo starts thinking about something that can fit through those small air vents. After some time, Sungwoo summons Durahan. Durahan keeps running away in a single direction. Dr. Yu is thinking that Sungwoo must have thought of something else since he just summoned Durahan. He thinks that maybe Durahan is just a distraction, and the reason why he drew a summon so he could just run through the outer side must be different. At the same time, he notices that there is a head in place of Durahan's empty neck. Durahan cuts opens the vents using his sword. Now Dr. Yu knows what they are aiming for, and at the same time Durahan throws a dead body inside the engine room. Sungwoo uses corpse explosion and the engine gets destroyed along with the corpse. Dr. Yu starts to become paranoid as some of his dolls just stopped moving due to no energy. But he still has emergency power and he just needs to hold his ground for 1 minute until the power returns. A notification pops up telling Dr. Yu that the switching of emergency power supply is at 34%. The minions start making a huge tower, and Sungwoo says that once the priests are gone, his options will be limitless. Death Knight uses Ice Road on the minions to freeze them, and he makes a smooth path upwards. Sungwoo orders Durahan to take down Dr. Yu, but Dr. Yu has still a lot of dolls left and he orders them to take down Durahan. Durahan uses his exclusive skill Death Dash. He manages to pierce through the chest of Dr. Yu with his mana spear. After getting pierced, Dr. Yu falls to the ground. As he falls, Sungwoo is thinking that the biggest weakness of the one-man army is that you can instantly fall once the enemy finds an opening. All dolls start going offline as Sungwoo is thinking that if he was in his place, he would have used overwhelming power to crush the enemy at the start. The battlefield is something Dr. Yu can't have experienced, since he was growing stronger in a safe place while using clones. With that being said, Sungwoo starts burning the dolls to complete his exclusive quest. He orders his minions to completely destroy this hideous facility. Dr. Yu says that everything he worked for is ending in vain like this. Sungwoo says that you were feeding off of free experience points while staying hidden. It would have been harder to battle against the clones since they had some actual battle experience. Sungwoo further says that this marks your end, you piece of trash. Dr. Yu becomes angry after being called a piece of trash. Dr. Yu angrily says that you have not even lived half my age, so how would you know how long he has been preparing for this? When the likes of Sungwoo didn't know anything, he prophesied this hellish situation. But his shouting comes to a stop as he suffers from extreme blood loss. Sungwoo says that you were just fooling the survivors by acting as government, and you attracted the beastmen pretending if you were helping them, and ultimately, you used all of them as your experimental subjects, and if this is all he could do despite having foreseen everything. Sungwoo starts beating him as he says that you should have acted more responsibly in order to save a lot more lives. Dr. Yu says that responsibility is needed for those things you are capable of. Why would he have taken responsibility for this damned world that does not even understand no matter how much he warned them? This world is already doomed, and he asks Sungwoo if he has any idea what is waiting at the end of this world. Sungwoo asks him about what did he find. Dr. Yu says the World Eater. It is the absolute being that will lead humanity to transcendence, and they are watching them even at this very moment. Sungwoo is sure that the creator Imugi told him about is not watching them right now, so it must be something else. All of a sudden, Dr. Yu starts looking at the floor for some reason. Sungwoo is not sure what he is up to, or if there is something underground. Dr. Yu says we are done for since they are coming, and it's all Sungwoo's fault. Jisoo Yoon informs Sungwoo that something is coming up from the underground. The whole floor shatters as an unknown being emerges from the underground floor. The unknown being is in a round shape like a ball. All of a sudden it opens its eye, giving out a oppressing energy. A notification pops up telling them that the presence of an external dimensional being is oppressing you, and all of their stats have decreased by 60%. Dr. Yu says that this being is the World Eater he was talking about. All of a sudden, all blood starts pouring out of Dr. Yu. He tries to say something, but he could not shout out a single word since he is getting shredded by the external dimensional being. In a few seconds, Dr. Yu evaporates, leaving behind only a few bloodstains. Even Sungwoo got alerted after watching this show of power from this external dimensional being. A notification pops up telling Sungwoo that the external being is looking at him and he has brought the anger of the unknown being upon himself. Sungwoo knows well that this situation is too dangerous for him, and if the unknown being uses the same power he used on Dr. Yu, then there is nothing he can do against it. The only thing he can do is hope that the unknown being can only use that power on Dr. Yu since he had made a contract with him. But out of nowhere, some cracks appear on the unknown being. The unknown being gets destroyed on its own, and a notification pops up telling Sungwoo that the unknown being promises to take his life someday. Jisoo Yoon is relieved, but Sungwoo tells her that sooner or later, they are still going to go up against this behemoth. A notification pops up telling Sungwoo that he has successfully completed the exclusive quest Provide Death to Those Who Cannot Die. An exclusive skill is given to him as a reward, and his fate has changed slightly. Sungwoo has acquired Death Response skill again, which increased his skill rank from Expert to Artisan. Sungwoo says that it seems like all danger's gone, and Jisoo Yoon says then it means that they have put an end to the Evolution Society. Sungwoo says that she is right, and they should go and look what kind of goods these guys were hiding. Sungwoo informs Suwon Town about his victory over the Evolution Society, and in a few hours helicopters arrive at their location. Han-ho is quite happy at the defeat of these roach-like Evolution Society bastards, plus the two of them conquered this whole huge facility. Han-ho asks them about what kind of a person was the Evolution Society boss, and he should have been there with them to struck an Asura blow to his face. Jisoo Yoon and Sungwoo say that they both resemble each other in their grotesque and hideous appearance. Sergeant Kim says that there are 1914 captive players and 491 beastmen who cooperated with the Evolution Society, and they can't handle something with this large of a scale. Sungwoo tells them to contact the Liberation Guild since they are holding a grudge against the Evolution Society for the Yeongdongpo Station terror attack. Sungwoo further says that managing captives can be hard, but they probably won't reject them since they were the best organization in the Korean server that dealt with the production. As soon as things are settled here in Korea, they will head for the Tsushima Island. Sergeant Kim says that you must have missed the news, and Han-ho informs Sungwoo that someone's been there before them. Sungwoo asks about this person. Near the Tsushima Island, some cargo and warships are getting wrecked left and right. The captain says that their cargo ship is sinking and they can't withstand it for any longer, so they should go out to the island and hide there. But the captain has a high sense skill, and he senses something dangerous coming for them. This dangerous thing turns out to be a huge bolt of lightning. The cargo ship gets struck with the lightning. The whole crew along with the cargo burns to a crisp with that single bolt. Han-ho tells Sungwoo that it's their friend from back then. Sungwoo now knows that it is Han Kang-seok, but he is not sure why he came to the forefront right now. On the livestream, Han Kang-seok asks Sungwoo if he is watching this, and Zeon gives a hi-fi to Sungwoo asking him if he remembers her. Han Kang-seok says that he has been hearing some news about Sungwoo, and it looks like Sungwoo is doing well and he has been envious, since he has been wandering around in disgusting places, but Sungwoo is not sure which disgusting place is he talking about. If he thinks about the last opponent they fought together, judging by that, Han Kang-seok must be completing a quest related to the Door of Hell. Han Kang-seok further says that he will be soon contacting him for some reason, and he is sending this loot from the Tsushima Island to Sungwoo as a gift. He recently heard that Sungwoo has started a hobby of growing plants. He wants to see that plant someday with his own eyes. Sungwoo is sure that he must be referring to the world tree as a plant. Sungwoo can't seem to figure out his intentions. He is not someone he can stop worrying about even if they have formed an alliance. Even though he is constantly growing stronger, the first rank is still his. Power and information. He is superior in both. All of a sudden, a notification pops up telling him that World Tree has reached Maturity Stage 1. He is linked with the World Tree and his stats increased by a certain amount. His stamina has increased by 1. Another notification informs him that the mature power of the World Tree has a huge impact on the whole area. An opportunity to grant a special racial characteristic to the residents near the World Tree is given to him. Sungwoo is thinking that it is a good thing that the World Tree has reached mature stage, but he is not sure what the notification meant by racial characteristic since he thought characteristic of all players were human. Another notification pops up telling him that the World Tree owner can choose one among the following racial characteristics. According to the owner's disposition, each race's detailed features may change. The first race is Fairy. It specializes in sense, dexterity, wisdom. Second race is Tree Spirit. It specializes in vitality, regenerative ability, and sociability. Third race is Giants. They specialize in stamina, defense power, and resistance. Fourth race not found yet. Sungwoo is right now too far from the World Tree. He needs to proceed with the choice after entering the Sacred Tree's shadow. After factions, now they are getting races. Maybe they are going to escape from humanity once they gain these characteristics. This will definitely give them advantage over simply being humans. But if they were to lose their humanity over this, then Sungwoo is a bit reluctant to make that choice. The fourth option seems to be a problem, and he is sure there is some hidden element, but he is not sure what he is supposed to find in order to unlock the fourth race. Sungwoo has decided that he will first try to find the fourth race and then make his choice at a later time. At the same time, Sergeant Kim informs him that they got a message from Suwon Town. It turns out that the World Tree just grew explosively, and it also grew 3 more fruits. Sungwoo tells them to get the helicopter ready right away, and they should head there immediately. After a few hours, they arrive at the World Tree. At the same time, they get a notification that the Korean server is the final winner in the Second Japan and Korea War. Rewards are distributed according to the contribution made by the Korean server. Since he got the second place, he got 45 million gold along with the War Hero title. His War Hero title has increased to level 2 and all of his stats increased by 3. Han-ho informs Sungwoo that the official channel's chat is going crazy. It seems that the end of the war shocked everyone around the world. Sungwoo says, to him this is even more shocking. The World Tree has grown over a few kilometers tall, and its shadow goes beyond just the Suwon town. Sungwoo asks them if it changed like this overnight. Spearman Kyungsoo says that he is right, and the buildings are getting pushed away by the roots, and it looks like they need to fix the city's layout again. Hano's dad gives him the good news that the barrier range has now expanded to 3 kilometers, and ultimately the town's range has gotten bigger as well. Hanho says it's not a good news because now his dad needs to watch over a larger area. Sergeant Kim says that he contacted Hwarang Guild to collect the loot from the Tsushima Island, and in return, they will be sharing a part of the loot with Hwarang Guild. Sungwoo says that right now, they are doing Suwon Town reconstruction, securing the Evolution Society facility, and now transferring the loot from Busan. It seems like they are short on manpower. Spearman Kyungsoo says that there is no need to worry about it. Ganghwado has been integrated into them, and trustworthy support will soon join them. There are 265 players, led by the Griffin Rider, coming to their aid. Sungwoo says that with that much personnel, they will be able to put out the urgent fire for now, and Ji Soo-yoon praises Spearman Kyungsoo for his efforts. Sungwoo says that he will look for conditions for the World Tree's 4th race. Upon touching the World Tree, a system notification tells him that he can choose a race by confirming the fruit. There are only 3 newborn fruits, and the fact that the 4th option is not available means that the 4th fruit is yet to be found. That fruit can be hidden somewhere in this giant World Tree.